Good evening. That minute went quick. So, when we left yesterday, I had been braving my nemesis of Picos. And to be honest, I'm kind of still in the mood for that. I kind of want to get to the end and see how I was doing. But this does not complete our triangles. So I'm just checking something. Threads caught up and all the rest of it. Things that were round a pin and not round a pin because, well, they got caught around other things. There we go. So that's that sorted. So yes, I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but so I'm back again. Now, I have tried to sort something to make my stream a little more interesting. I say a little because, well, it's dubious, to be honest. A lot of streams seem to have a lot more interaction, and clearly, having not made you emotes, because, you know, the world loves a good cat emote, having not made rewards, because, well, there really aren't any, or anything else, I have tried to incorporate, should the need arise, a game. Now, it's a stupid game and one that, frankly, I really can't partake in. The reason for that is I'm dyslexic and I can't spell my own wretched name. So, anagrams, they're worse than Picos, frankly. Even if the word's all but spelled out with 2 letters around the wrong way, I can't see it. I really can't. So, it's not a good game for me, but it could be better for the rest of you. So, but the one thing I have found, and it sounds like there's a bomb about to drop on my house because there's a plane flying over really low. And you know, in films, they always have like that noise. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It says, click here for it to be automatic and you don't need to do anything. Only that's not true. I must start it. And it seems to, if you, I don't know, let's say no one guesses any words and you fail, it just seems to sit there forever. So, to be honest, you know, if for example, I had a bit of an emergency and rather than just throw up the be right back screen, I left you all playing that, I'm not convinced it would work. So, I'm not quite sure on that one, but we shall give it a go at some point. To kind of to see how it goes, but to be honest, yeah. So let's have a look. We have tangle bobbins, which have mated with pins. Don't really need these just yet, she says. I'm doing them anyway, because they would have been mated and now I wanted to unmate them. I'll need them in a really short time. But let's put them back. It's a good start, isn't it? Oh, and this is the wrong way up because it's bent, so we were doing it the other way up to try and encourage bending in the other direction. Considering they're plywood, they really shouldn't be bending. But, you know, whatevs. So, start with these. Never mind. What a great start to the day. So, let's have a look. You have come undone because you're annoying. That's your prerogative. Thank you very much. Okay. So, undo the pot of pins. Actually, no. Let's not undo the pot pins. My dogs really need to do less bodily functions. Check. You need stabbing. That's right. let's try that as a starting point. Put that back where it came from. So, stick the pin. Oh, for goodness sake, woman. I should just maybe pack up and go home. I've made a boo-boo. Never mind. Let's try and pick out the pin. Together. Let's undo these two. And let's start off with a twist like we're supposed to. Right. You've come undone too, because just that kind of bobbin. And apparently the thread now doesn't want to go round the bobbin. Let's try again, shall we? That. A bin. Seriously? Just look at these. Can you see how many? All of these are pointy end up. Now there are some here that are bobble end up, which is great. In amongst all the spiky pokey ends. So to get at them, you have to stab your fingers. Whoever put this box together was not expecting anyone to use the contents, is how it feels. And you can't open it from the other end, because that would be a nice simple solution, wouldn't it? You've come undone. I swear they were like elves in the night. Hello, Sugar Bear, how you doing? How you doing? Good. We like it when people are all right. Because it's better than not. So what have you been up to? How was your day? Well, that sounds like a pretty good plan. I haven't eaten teas. Anything serious that we need to worry about, or are we just like, you know, being checked for minor death? I'm supposed to have gone from a blood test, but I haven't, so, like... Hello, Netkisser, how you doing? It's good to see the gang rocking up for a stream. Now, I have done something today, and maybe you guys can help me. I have tried to set up a game. Now, it's a game I can't play, or I am exception. Well, I can play it. Nothing physically stops me playing it, except that I am so crap at it that, you know, I'm banned by like Geneva Convention for being too crap. For I am dyslexic, and anagrams are just something I can't handle. And I get quite upset because the words I do see are never the right words, and the words that are there are bad. And I happen to know this particular game in later levels, the earlier levels do not do this. They put in like it's not a wild card, but they put in like hidden letters. Dude, I can't do it when you've given me all the letters, let alone when you don't give me all the letters. So I just can't play this game. But it's supposed to be a stream interactable game. Now, I've clicked a button that says play it on autopilot. Yeah, don't. So I wanted to put it in so that, for example, during advert breaks, we could play. Ooh, that sounds clever. But because of course it depends, because embroidery with thread bobbins are usually quite flat, so that's quite a cool thing. I can imagine that working. But yeah, this game is basically an anagram solving thing, and I'm not entirely convinced how well it will work, just because, well, I can't play it, and although it says it should be automated by clicking a button, it's not. I have to start it, and if I have to start it and pulling it up on stream is not starting it, then, well, really, explain to me how this is helpful. So I'm not convinced that it will really work for us. We don't have a lot of people in chat, so it potentially will not work anyway. But as you're both here and alive, let's give it a quick go. She says finding it. There it is. So it will say something about wait for host to start. suck at it. So, you know. But not only do I suck at it, I proper suck at it. So let me mute that because it's in my ear and it's got really annoying music. Because it's on a browser screen and it's going, oh, play. No. Anyway, thank you for trying that. So it does work, but it doesn't do the automatic thing, which kind of makes it a bit pointless. So, other people use it, so I must be missing something. But I followed the instructions, and I can show you a screen that says I clicked the right stuff, but interestingly, even though it said I had to restart it, it has auto restarted in my browser window that's still on my screen and annoying me. So it can. It just, well, yeah. But obviously, I need to have started it in the first place. So, and maybe have to click on other things. I don't know. We'll see. It's something to do should the need arise. Anyway, so that's what I did this afternoon after work. Wasn't very exciting, but thank you for joining in. Makes it a little bit more kind of interactive for you. I mean, don't get me wrong. All those words got read out in my ear, which is slightly irritating. What I could do is have it turn off, should that be the scene, and then back on again. Because that could get annoying. You know, if you've got, say, I don't know, not that... Actually, it wasn't too bad given there's only 3 of us, but it was, you know, if you imagine if, for example, I suddenly became really popular, had 100 people, and they're all frantically typing words, that would get a tad painful. That would be bad. Well, yeah. I mean, as we all know, I have enough issues with words at the best of times. So, but yeah, I do struggle with games like that, and basically, yeah, it would just be like random words in my ear holes. And you can imagine I'm at the door talking to someone like, for example, when the police came the other day. And you can imagine I'm getting random words like biscuit, blanket, pickles. I'm trying to have a serious conversation. Yeah, no, that could be a bad thing. So I will definitely do a bit more work with that at some point to reduce that irritation. What would be nice in some ways is, because obviously if people do want to talk to me and I'm mid somewhere else, right, I don't know, something's burning in the kitchen or whatever, right, it would be nice to hear proper conversation and not just one word answers. But that's interesting. I can fix that. That I can fix. Good point. Let me add. So yeah, I can fix that. And in fact, let me... Right. So... question is, can you still hear me? Because I think you should. Now, I'm not sure whether you can hear the game though. But you should hear me. Do you hear sounds with the game? Because without piling into my own stream, I can't really tell. I think it waits 60 seconds if you fail, so... but you're not answering my questions. So frustrating with the delay and not knowing if you're typing at me. This is where my autism gets really upset. Because as far as I can tell, you should be hearing this. You should... That's cool, Netkisser, but can you hear me? So you can hear me. Okay. Do you hear sounds from the game? Because I'm not sure it's picking it up properly. It's supposed to. Let's try. Wonder why. I'm not understanding why it can't hear the game. Well done. But I still don't see how you're not... it's not picking up audio. How can it... Yes, thank you. So I muted it so that I could listen to my own stream to see if I could hear anything myself. So yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why it's not playing the music, and because it's got really irritating music, and the sound effects because it's set to, but it doesn't seem to be picking any up, which is just a bit pants, really. So I don't know. Can't do much about that. We can play with that later. So yeah, we shall play with that another day. Just doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because it says control audio via OBS, so I expect to be able to see it in the audio panel, which I can. But it doesn't have any volume, so I don't know, maybe there's something the screen end that doesn't, I don't know. As I say, something to play with later, I think. But you know, if it wakes you all up, we can always play a guess a word or two. You know, something to do during advert breaks or something, like now. For those who are suffering from ads, you know. I mean, for example, I could leave it on stream all the time. Have it like in the top right hand corner instead of advert breaks and stuff. And you could play it all the time. The only problem is then you'd all be spouting random words at me and that'd get really annoying. So I'm not sure I could cope with that. I feel that would be... I am going to tie those frigging pillows to my couch, dog. You nearly had me trip over and land flat on my face earlier because you knocked a pillow off just as I was walking past, so I tripped over it. Now don't be all cutesy. No. You're being annoying. Yes, well. Wretched animals. I love them dearly. Most of the time. Except for when they try and kill me. And they don't just lie down, they have to trample the grass on the very flat pillows. Anyway, we should all be back to normal. We should be back to normal with bobbins and voices and all of those kind of things. Excuse me. Except for these ones which are falling out, which begin to be annoying me. Let's go with you. Twisting. Twist you before we forget. And you. I was going to work downwards, wasn't I? Oh. But we're trying. Appreciate your assistance in testing my efforts, for clearly the efforts are lacking, but they're sort of working but not properly. Problem is, like everything, is testing it. It's very difficult to test it. There are things on how to set it up, but basically they go, well, do what I've already done, which is have a browser window and paste it in the URL thing that you get, and it will be good. And well, it's not. Nothing says what happens when you're not getting sound. Everything says go to Twitch chat, open pop-up, what pop-up, copy URL and go into OBS. What pop-up? Why would there be pop-up? That was also 4 years ago, so, you know, slightly out of date in that respect. I don't know why it doesn't give you the sound, though. That makes no sense. Anyway, stop worrying about it, Mum. Let's do some lace. Come on. People came to watch lace, not listen to you mess with her and fight with a stream interaction thing. It's Thursday, people. The weekend is not far away. I mean, it's far enough, but it's not far away. Obviously, it's the evening here in the UK, and I only have... Technically, that's a good point. I wonder if Boss approved that or not. You can't really say no. We have a thing called a wellness hour. Doesn't look like he's approved it, for goodness sake. Pending approval. Doesn't feel right. It's not. Right. You're next. Yeah, we have a thing called a wellness hour, where you are allowed to go for a walk to learn new things. And I put in for a wellness hour tomorrow. But Boss has not approved it. Slightly irritating. Now I know I say that an awful lot, and you know, sometimes it's more true than others, but there are times when I look at this and it really doesn't look right. But sometimes it is also because I need to do the things next to it before it will look and sort itself out. So let's do column and see if that cheers it up. No, stop falling out and hooping round things when you don't need to. Go away. See, these two seem to come from the same place. Which likely means I've made a mistake. And we all know what I'm going to say next, but I can't really see it. Let's shove these round a bit more. Let's undo this. No, not that pin. That pin. You see, that's not wrong. That isn't actually wrong. I mean, it could be a bit more, you know, up. But you are both, you're coming off this one, and you should be going in there. But when I did that, it looked too close. It does look too close. It is too close for a really obvious reason. I think, she says, trying to undo it. I'm wondering why it's not undoing. I think I made a boo-boo. And as we've already discovered today, I seem to be doing a lot of those at the moment. So let me grab these and extract them out there. For the boo-boo I think I made was, I think I forgot to throw a pair out at the right spot back here. And the only true way to find out, because it is the only thing that making sense, is that we go back, because we went back yesterday when we discovered we had done other things wrong. So we now need to go back and undo you, and now we go back again. We undo you. Now this might be the last one we need to undo. So I don't think we should be undoing you. That's too many. I need to undo you just to get a little. I saw that. I saw you ping off the end. That's just rude. Problem is I feel like I've got wrist-sized fingers, right? Because when you do the loop to put over the end, I seem to need like 8 inches of thread to go over the end, and that should not be the case. So now I need to undo you. Get you out of that. So undo you. So, the problem lies that I am confident that I faux pas by being able to see what I'm doing. If I undo this pin here, there are no threads coming out under this pin. So I had one too many in my collection going this way. So you, somewhere along here, should have come out. Stop poking me in the arm. Anything in this part of the pillow is hard for me to view, because as I lean forward, being female, I have 2 objects that sit on the front of my chest that mean I cannot physically get close enough, because the moment I do, it pushes things away. And because I keep wanting to put my arm where I've put the pins, I keep stabbing myself with the pins that I've taken out. Let me move those before I do it one more time and lose my rag. See? I know. Lizzie's brain cell is obviously not as tolerant as she thought it was going to be today. But what I don't understand is why there's 1 here. Why 1? How is this 1? So, you're a pair, you're a pair. Pair, pair, pair. You are a pair with you. So you 2 can sod off. And you need to go under, over, like that. Then we put the pin in. This, and we do the twisty. Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing, Netkisser, surely. We like threads, surely. You know, you need plenty of them. Either that, or you're saying that your thread bin of cut off and in a mood threads is full, in which case I can relate to that too. doesn't feel right. It does seem like we should all just, like, put everything down, put it in a box, and go away for the weekend or something, you know, and let it think about its behaviour for a weekend, you know. Do any of you do that? Do any of you almost treat some of your inanimate objects like they have personalities, and almost do the, you're going to sit there and you're going to think about what you've done? Yeah. Please tell me I'm not the only one that kind of has a level of doing that. So that's not right on a couple of levels. So let's undo you. So you should be like that. There, let's try that. Like so. Yeah, basically, you know, stop messing around. This, you know, this is not the time or the place for any of that. Can we not? And yeah, and don't tell me you forgot. That's right, I forgot to chuck out the pair. So this is one of my fears of undoing things. Is you undo something to fix something and add more mistakes than you fixed when you go back. And I was talking to a lovely lady on Discord called Misty, and Misty is cool. We love Misty. And she was telling me about how she struggles with knitting because she's kind of got a bit of OCD in the sense of it's got to be right. And we all suffer from that, don't we all, right? Every crafter does not set out to make mistakes. And as I've discussed many times on here, I have determined my tolerances of fixing to be risk versus reward. And, you know, if I spotted a mistake back here, I am not going back now. The pins are out. I am not undoing all of this to get back there to fix it. Just not prepared to do that. If it's here, as we're finding, I'm prepared to fix it because it's, well, in the, you know, kind of localish area. So even if I got to the bottom of this clump here and discovered I messed it up back there, I would be prepared to go back that far because it's still the bit I'm working on, or at least really close to the bit I'm working on. That's not so bad. But the more clumps you've got to go back, the, you know, no. And so there is a part of you that, with all the best will in the world, 1, 2, 3, that's right, right number now. There are lots of times, actually that's not right either. This isn't right either. How is this not right either? Because that shouldn't be 4. That should include this one. Did I miss somehow? For fuck's sake, woman. See, but this is where, you know, tolerances and patience is tested to the extreme. When you try to fix one thing, and now all you do is constantly make other mistakes, and you're just not making any progress except wasting time and getting wound up by stupid bits of string on little wooden doodahs and questioning your life choices, because I didn't add one when I got to this end, which would have been you two. And this is why, while lace making, for example, is technically really not that hard, when you're stuffing up, you can stuff it in new and creative, wonderful ways that you never dreamed possible. And it's much like knitting. In theory, knitting is not complicated, nor crochet, nor weaving. But in practice, in practice and in achieving the perfect item, oh my god, it's just not, sometimes it seems unattainable. I mean, if you think, every ground stitch here is 6 stitches. So each one of these open pinholes is technically 6 stitches, because it's cross and 2 twists. And then you do it again, so that's 6 stitches. 90% of the pinholes are at least 2 stitches. These ones with the squares are even more, because you have to do a cloth stitch, so that's cross, twist, cross, that's 4 at each corner, so that's 8. Then 6, so 6, 12, brain farts, 18, 24, plus the 8 you started on with, that's 32, add 16 more, so we're talking 60 stitches, to make 1 rose ground, right? So for each of these little squares, we're going with 60, because I can't be bothered to count if it's 50. I think it might be 50. We'll go with 50, right? So all these little squares are 50 stitches each. Well, each of those 50 is an opportunity to fucking it. Well, there's a, percentage-wise, a few mistakes really are neither here nor there. But you've got so many opportunities to make a mistake that, it is basically guaranteed that you will screw it up somewhere. The question is, how bad does it really show? And by the time you've set it, are you really prepared to go back? And obviously, depending on where it is, the answer to that can be no. No, I'm friggin' not, It's like discovering you've made half a jumper and you cast on the wrong number of stitches. Most of us would not go back. Most of us would fudge it somewhere, right? And that's not a bad thing necessarily. There are times, right? There are times where these things can be true. And someone else who was talking to Misty was saying, if you can't see it from 3 meters away, let it ride. And there is a good point to that, because it is very, very easy to get caught up in, I need to make this right, to when nobody in their right mind, is going to notice. Now, I know that... I didn't twist it, you... Dear God, woman. Someone slap me. Dear co-worker, please drive to my house and slap me, for they know where I live. Please slap me hard, for I am not worthy to breathe today. For the amount of mistakes that I am making, I probably can't make a glass of water without getting it wrong. So can we not be, do not ask me a technical question. Do not expect any common sense out of me, for I am not here today. The Liz that you are aware of has left the building. Actually, I was alright at work, so I don't know. I don't know where my brain's gone, but it's clearly kind of packed its bag for TET and it's left. That's not right either. That's because I need to go here. Rory, you snore like a navvy. So yes, I must admit, sewing needle sizes are something that I have not entirely grasped the numbering system thereof. Now, I too own a number of 26 and 28, size 28 sewing needles. Mainly for when I lost my cross-stitch needle, I had to get another one. And obviously there are many types of needle, and that they are designed for different and varying things. So, and you know, that makes perfect sense. You know, you don't really need a really sharp point on a cross stitch needle because you've already got holes, and in embroidery you need to make your holes, so you need a pointier needle. And if you're doing fabric sewing, well, you're making holes, so you need a pointier needle. So from all of that point of view, I get that there are different kinds. But, you know, almost from the, and not wishing to sound too sexist, but the husband, the inattentive husband who just kind of goes, yes dear, takes you to the yarn shop or the fabric shop or insert your crafting shop of choice, and tolerates, and because it makes you happy, the hours that you happily spend going, oh, that's pretty, and spending a small fortune on shit that you'll never probably use in a lifetime because you've already got enough planned stuff for the next, 600 years, and there you are buying more. And of course, there is logic to the buying more, because of course, let's say you've got some wool and you want to knit a jumper. Great. Well, being not the skinniest individual in the world, I need more wool for my jumper than I would, say, for size 0 skinny britches, right? Good luck to her. I'm glad she's size 0, for I cannot. My bones would not let me be size 0. I am a bigger frame than that. But I'm still budgy, so, I am distinctly more balls of wool. And, that's not a problem. But it also means that any leftover wool, I need more balls of wool to make me a jumper. Well, chances are leftovers do not come in Liz-size jumper quantities. They come in child-size quantities or baby-size quantities. So if I wanted to make me a jumper, much as I might have the most beautiful yarn in the history of yarn, I can't make me a jumper from it because I've got enough to make, like, I don't know, the collar. Or the bits go round my middle, maybe at a bush, Now, speaking of which, God help my sins, you were not here to prevent me, and so I committed atrocities yesterday, and I have ordered yarn. Now, there's nothing technically wrong with me affording yarn. I'm not put myself in debt affording yarn. I also bought some more lace making thread, and I got beige. Not that it looks overly beige, but it is of beige tint, because my house is beige, so beige is a good thing. For I know that there will be another net curtain when I finish this one, but I will be trying to do it in one piece, even if I don't do it on camera kind of thing, because I'm really not sure how I would put that pillow on camera. But that's, next year's Liz, frankly, problem. But I bought the thing because it was cheap. Basically, the seller overbought of that colour, and I ordered 3 boxes. I've only shown you one. Well, that's because that's all she sent me. And when I contacted her and kind of went, hey, because I've bought a fair few things from her in the past, both directly on her shop, and in fact I tried to buy them from her when she announced it on Facebook, which is how I know why she's got them for sale. And she completely blanked me by mistake, because I think it was kind of towards the end of the day, and she didn't read it in time, because they delete the messages by the end of the day, so she didn't see it. And so when she stuck them up on eBay, I went, buy, because it's still a bargain, even though it was more. And I bought all 3. And so I can prove I've got a letter that says, Liz bought all 3. See if I can do this without, outing my address or something. So let me fold that bit back. But there you can see, bought box 10, 3 of 36 quid, paying at 125 quid. Let's not dwell on that part too much. And when I only got 1 box, that's a really expensive box of, because even at full price, it's only about 80 quid. So that's a bit expensive. So I contacted her and she was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't see that. Well, you printed it out. But okay, that's fine. And of course, she sold the other 2 now. So she's supposed to be doing me a refund, but of course, I noticed that the refund hasn't come through yet. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I know her eyesight's beginning to fail, so I'm not actually mad at her. I was just a bit disappointed because, you know, I tried twice to buy 3 of them and somehow I managed to fail in the long run. It was a bit like, you may recall, I always wanted some ebony bobbins, and there was like 100 and something of them up on eBay for a reasonable price. I set my alarm, I cancelled it, the dog did something, I forgot, and I remembered 10 minutes after it finished and I missed them. I was so annoyed by that because they were like those Danish bobbins, so the ones I was using for the last square, but ebony, which would be great. And I can buy new ones, I've seen found off site, but they're a bit expensive. They're a little bit unnecessarily expensive, and there were some other bobbins that I liked the look of that I thought I might like, because as you know, I collect, well, I've got a bit of a gotta catch 'em all problem with bobbins, and a guy makes bobbins, hallelujah, and he makes what are called bucks thumpers, and basically they're chubby bobbins for making bucks point lace. And I thought, I wouldn't buy a lot, but I wouldn't mind a reasonable number of those. He wants about £5 each. Ouch! I mean, I appreciate that the time and effort of making them by hand is not a cheap and simple thing, and if I had, you know, if I had a wooden lathe, I could make my own, I really, really could, and I would make, you know, I'd get a long rod and I would make a number and then saw them into the actual bobbin chunks. So, you know, I know how hard it is. I know the work that's involved. I know, I do understand it. But as a lace maker who wants quite a few of them, as I've mentioned before, I don't really want to pay much more than £1 a bobbin. I mean, if they're super beautifully wonderful, perfect, and you know, they're going to solve all my woes and cook me dinner, fine. But, you know, they are little wooden sticks. They do not have to be any more exciting than a plain wooden stick, right? It's part of the reason I like these, actually, is because they are that simple. They are just a plain wooden stick with a bit for the where the... I mean, they don't even need the bit on the rose, arguably. We could do without that and live without it, and just have a stick with a dent in it where the thread goes. That's all it actually needs to be. People use pen tops for that reason. You know, the ones with the little hooky bit that you'd put over your pocket. People use pen tops. Initially, I used dolly pegs. So the ones with 2 prongy legs with the big head on the top. They're a bit frigging big, but you don't need specials. People use crayons and biros and sticks with glued beads on, and, you know, pretty much just to glue a bead at the top to stop it coming off. They do tend to put a bead which would be about here, so you've got one at the top and one at the bottom for the thread to stay in. That's it. A stick. And of course you can make those as pretty as you like. Personally, I would then want to encase them in resin so that they had a more smooth feel, because much as I do like these bobbin ones, I wouldn't want them all like that. Oh dear, Rory's having a hard day. Ooh. It's alright, my man. It's alright. Yes, okay. Bless his little fairy face. Right. So yes, I was very annoyed with myself the other day when I missed that, because I had been looking forward to a set of ebony bobbins, because they are special. I love ebony. It is. And I will keep an eye out for a deal, and I'm sure at some point one will come up, because I will be looking for it. Most things come up if you wait long enough. Although, there is one thing I have never found, and I have been looking for 25 years now since the internet kind of happened and eBay started and all that. I have a particular affinity with a 80s cult classic film that not many people have watched. Bit weird to say it's a cult classic, but it is viewed as a cult classic. Now, not to be confused with films of the same name, for which there are some that are very adult. I really love a film called Electric Dreams. And it hit me hard as a child. Well, I was about 14 or something. It hit me really, really hard because it was everything I felt. And I related exceptionally hard to one of the characters in it. To the point I can almost recite it word for word, even though I've only seen it a couple of times. The music from it hits me hard because the songs are great. I really like them. So there is this whole... everything about it screams to me. And anyway, when I was at school, because I was still at school when it came out, there was a book. Now, it was like a novel based on the film kind of thing, right? But there was a book telling the story of the film. And I frankly wept at one point when I was reading it because, well, not too surprisingly, I was listening to... I had a Walkman, because those were the things of the day, and I was listening to a mixtape that I'd got, and I'd got some of the songs from the film in the mixtape, and as I came across a very specific, meaningful part of the story, the tune that would play in the film came on, right? It was perfect timing. You know, directors would have been proud, right? And it hit me really hard, and it made me cry because it was just too perfect, right? I have been looking for that book ever since the internet and being able to buy stuff and search for stuff online. I have kept my eyes out for this book. Now, there are a number of books called Electric Dreams. They are not it. It is not about Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. It is not about a bunch of people designing a car. Not at all. And so it is very frustrating because I really have looked long and hard for it. There is zero mention on the internet of this book. Yet I know that there is one. Because I had it at school and I thought of nicking it, to be fair. I really did. And I regret every day, almost, that I had not nicked it. Because, well, you know, someone probably chucked it, 30 years ago. And I would sell a body part. Oh, bollocks. Hands up who knows what mistake Liz made at the beginning of the row. You're not undoing right, are you? Just because I forgot to do the other half. Clearly, all we're going to do today is make mistakes. So. You need to go back on the pile. Let's try twisting them before we start. Such a shame you can't frig it. Who wants to play a game of Guess the Word? Who wants to wake up and play a game of Guess the Word? Anyone want to play a game of Guess the Word? As a small interlude from my making mistakes and being grumpy. You can say you want to play Guess the Word. Better. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've worked out that 7 is actually better. I'm going to stick with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. be tangled up around everything. Would be nice. Hello, pick up thread, thank you. And this is why I end up with the problem where the end threads, for example, the worker threads are no longer around the pin because too many of the others have fallen off, and in picking them out you end up picking worker threads out of where they should be. So for example, this thread here seems to have come from over here and seems to be tangled, I need a pin, around another pin, because that's what threads do. They find a pin that's nothing to do with them and they tangle around it. So you need to come off there like that. That's a bit better. Now, you need to go back around that pin because you do need to be around it, and you come off like that. Okay. Now, everybody's where they should be. Right. Put you over there. You two can live in here for safekeeping, although it would be a bit kind of crowded. It's a little crowded, but you will just have to live with it for the moment. Just for a moment, you live with that. You are underpopulated by a lot. And you also need to go over here, as do you. Now, oh, foot's gone to sleep. Tingle, tingle. Oh, that's a bad sign. Have a bit of drink. Stretchy, stretchy. Come on, blood, go back to foot. Because we all know how much it hurts when your foot's or a body part has... Because they never say, I'm running out of blood. No, they only ever say when the blood's coming back. Come on, foot. I need some blood. That's a bit better. Foot's got some blood in it. Right. So, let's see what trouble we can get into next. The reason my feet go to sleep is because I tuck them up. They're not tucked underneath me, but if I sit on my couch normally, to then do lace making, I tend to lean forward, which means I push my feet just that little bit further back, and so I kind of overreach my feet, and then because I'm chubby, my feet can kind of get the moody, and now I need you two as well. think. Except, I've just noticed, for goodness sake, nothing is going my way today, is it? Absolutely nothing is going my way. First of all, let's tighten this bobbin up before even more mayhem fest. What you may have noticed is, what I've just noticed is, this rubber band that I carefully put over all the pins to go between the pins that are flopped backwards and the pins that are flopped forwards has come off. Everything's trying to kill me today. Everything's trying to kill me today. So, now, we need to flip you over. And then we need to flip you over. And I'd already sorted all of you out so that you were not mated around all the wrong places, which of course you are again now. Which was exactly what I'd done. Like that. Then we get the final lot and we flip you over and spend 10 minutes unpicking you from all the pins that are not where you should be, like that. And then put you two down. You should have been down, as should you. You got up into in the day. But we now need to go back to here and unpick those two. And don't you dare say my elastic band broke. I swear that's what's wrong with it. I think my elastic band broke. I think it's only one leg. It is, look. My elastic band broke. That's what's wrong with it. Piece of shit. Alright. Let's try that again, shall we, children? Let's put my elastic band over the top. For it is there to protect the innocent. In fact, while I'm here, let's make its life easier, because all of these have been dealt with. These ones have all done their job. They don't need to be up anymore. And then we need the first row of these. Just to kind of seal the fate. So, now it's going to have less tension on it because it's only got to do, oh, for goodness sake, I am blind. These pins are all supposed to be down and I didn't notice the last time I did. So you go round. No, it's a straightish line. How can you make it so hard? Right. See, that was the point of doing that, was so that when you unflip them, it doesn't matter if they've got a little bit carried away. You've got an easy point to determine that they can't have undone themselves, they can't have done strange and wonderful things, that they're all where they should be, except for this one, which is wrapped around a frigging pin. And we discovered this last time is that the easiest way to deal with the it's round the pin is to lid the pin. But now I can't see where the pin goes. And I don't think this is going to be a better view. This is not necessarily a better view. Needs sorting. Now, for goodness sake. As I said, if it's going to go wrong today, apparently it's going to go wrong for me on this stream and these bobbins, because it's just kind of, the more I fix, the more it goes wrong. Let's undo this and flip you back, and you need to stop mating with you. Because it's all now round, more pins, because, well, hey, there were pins. We like pins, except for the ages like pins, so we don't like pins. I'm having a toddler. Eat your food. I don't like it. Right. Bobbins, and now I need a wee, for goodness sake. Right, let's try this again. My brain cannot lie to me that it needs a wee now, because it's been. Let's undo. Is that it? Is everybody where you should be now? My patience and tolerance that was already somewhat missing is rapidly diminishing. So I've got two of you, and only one of you. Where's your friend? Where is your friend? There it is. Right. So those three are where they should be. And right here, right now, that is all that matters. Everybody else is not important, because you are all right. I can sort you. You're in the middle. You're coming from the edge. Let's put the elastic band back on. Over the top like that. And let's flip you over again, even though you're really hating it. Yes, I saw that. Thank you. And because you are most decidedly thin, you were definitely going to do that. Right. Oh, now I've got a spot. Oh, for goodness sake. I didn't have a spot a minute ago. I've just rubbed my face and I've now got a really sore bit on my face. Grumble! Grumble, grumble. Let me have a quick look. I don't get spots very often. Hence it's kind of weird that I've suddenly got one. Because it literally wasn't there like an hour ago. It's kind of on the top of my lip. Not literally on the top of my lip, it's on the scar between my nose and my lip. And it's very painful. Because there's not a lot of me to be a spot on. And once again, being very short-sighted means that I can't see it and deal with it and work with it because it's kind of double the distance between you and the mirror. So, and it's not very big, obviously. I mean, it's big enough, but no, well, it's not going to kill me. Let's go back to doing this. So we need to twist all of these before we forget. We will lengthen these, because that's a thing. We don't need you immediately. We now need to twist each of you before we also forget, because that's also a thing. And one of you is trying to run away. That's okay, Jamie. You're allowed to look. This is a done thing. You know, needs must. I appreciate the looks. It is a little frustrating sometimes when I want some input, and of course everyone's busy or there's nobody there or both. But yeah, do not be ashamed to be lurking. It's not a problem. One day should you know, should the world unite and I become really hyper popular, I'll be moaning it's too noisy. So you know, let's not pretend that, you know, quiet can be a good thing. Quiet can be a very good thing. At the beginning of the stream, I mentioned that I'd ordered some thread on eBay. Instead of getting the 3 boxes I asked for, I got 1. And I'd let her know this morning that I only got 1. And she was good about it, and she kind of went, oh. Well, ditto. One day I'll be retired and I'll be able to stream a bit more. So let's truly be honest. But so I let the lady selling it know that, you know, I'd only got one box and I was kind of, I paid for 3. So, and she wrote back, oh, I didn't spot it, sorry. And I know that her eyesight's bad, so you know, I'm not particularly mad at her. And she said to me, what do you want to do? I can send you a different colour, which I didn't really want, or I can refund you. And I was like, well, I guess refund then, please. And she suddenly went, well, I have got another box you can have. So that makes it 2, and I'll refund you the last one. Okay. Now, normally you get notified quite quickly when people do refunds on eBay. And 9 hours later, I dropped her an email to say, just to let you know, in a very polite, literally it was just to let you know, I haven't seen the refund come through from eBay. Normally it is fairly quick, but maybe it's having a day, right? And she's just written back, well, I'm not trying to scam you. I'm old and you know, I've given you the box that I was going to keep. Well, first of all, you didn't have to offer me the box. I'd agreed to a refund. So, if you chose to send me one you'd intended to keep, while I appreciate that, that was of your choosing. I'd already agreed that that was fine. You know, life has moved on. We will do without. And to be honest, I know you're making enough money that you are not doing these sub costs. You could always order some more. Because the reason she was doing it is she'd ordered the wrong colour. So, don't be acting like I'm doing wrong here when I point out that the refund hasn't shown up, but that I'll, you know, just to let you know, I haven't seen it, but I will wait further in case it's having a day. So it's not, where's my refund, why haven't you done my money, none of that. Not being a Karen about it all, and yet the response I've got is like I'm being unreasonable. And with today's lack of tolerances, I am feeling slightly annoyed because this is not the first time she has done this kind of thing to me. I bought directly from her website. I bought directly from her eBay. Now, she has done some nice things, but she's also complained. So, for example, I ordered a box of white, obviously, because, well, hello, this is white. This is where I got it from. I ordered it off her website, and she actually said to me, normally I wouldn't let people order that many. Well, then don't let them on your website. I mean, I haven't got that much stock. Well, that's okay. You know, I clearly don't need 10 today. You know, you could, it's... I don't know whether it's, again, my autistic brain cells getting the wrong end of the stick, but I just feel like we're not a good batch of people. I think that's the best answer, is that we would not be people who would get on in a normal environment, you know? Because I bought quite a lot of things. This square is designed from one of her squares. And as you know, it's not like I pretended that I invented this from scratch. I have always admitted that it is a variation on a square that I bought. So I'm not being unreasonable. You know, I'm not claiming anything. I haven't accused her of anything. I was very careful not to do that. But it was, just to let you know, normally I would have, you know, eBay would have said, you know, refunded. And I've not heard it. Well... which does kind of imply you probably haven't done it. And given the other mistakes you've made, you probably refunded someone else, no matter. So I was trying to, you know, just check that, you know... Well, I did say I was working on it. It doesn't take 10 hours to do a frigging refund, that, you know. So I don't know. I'm definitely not feeling tolerable. I'm not going to reply to her this evening. Because, you know, oh, I'm 78, I'm not out to scam you. Well, you kind of have at the moment, so, you know, I know that you're trying to be reasonable, as am I, so can you not accuse me of being unreasonable? I am, you know, I have not accused you, I've not given you a bad review for not sending the right stuff, I've contacted you in the most polite manner Can we not? You know, I'm trying to be, and I find it difficult because it's the sort of thing I end up sending my co-worker and going, am I being wrong here? You know, is it me or, you know, is it not me? And pretty much they've always written back with, no, it's not you. You know, you've not accused them. They've gone off on one because they know they're wrong. But because I can't read people, and because it's even harder to read people over email. Yeah, it is just frustrating. Take some screen prints so I can send it to my coworker. It's not education. Hang on. Adjudication. What do you mean that starts with an A? No wonder seriously, people. You wonder why people are dyslexic and the word adjudication starts with an A. It's worse than yacht. Let me just send this to. Sent that off for adjudication. He's very good at giving impartial views because obviously it's not related to him, so it's quite easy for him to not be emotionally caught up in a conversation and can tell me if I'm being unreasonable. And it's something he does for me at work as well. 1, 2, 3, 34.5. So I need to do under because I, you know, sometimes I think I'm being factual and sensible and normal, and apparently I'm not. And you know, he knows he can tell me, yeah, you're probably being a bit wrong on that one. You know, give it a rest. You know, and I will. You know, it's. But there are also times when you're sitting there going, it's not me, isn't it? He's going, no, it's not you. So, you know, he lives with, he has a daughter who's autistic, so and I would argue she's worse than me. She's in a higher level of autism than I am. And so he's kind of used to it, and so he's also quite good at it, because, well, he gets lots of practice. It can help, and he does it for me in meetings when I'm talking and people are kind of going, that doesn't make any sense, and I'm kind of like, and he goes, I think what Liz is trying to say, and then we'll say exactly what I've just said, almost word for word, but not quite, and they'll go, oh. See, so he's written back. Reading it without emotion, I think she's trying to offer you an explanation, and you can't hear the tone, which I've just said, right? Give her a chance, look it up tomorrow, and come back to you. She sounds like she's trying to be fair. So he is good for that because, you know, he can give me other perspectives on it, and obviously it's very difficult to get that when you live alone. So he's very good for me for doing things like that. And I very much appreciate him doing these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.5. No, 3. There we go. some missing friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Makes you a little less volatile. There we go. There's too many for you and too many for you and not enough, and you look like you've only got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 2. This is the only problem when this doesn't when there were 5s, this worked out. Even though there aren't 5s, it worked out. Now I'm trying to batch it into 60s and 6s, and it really doesn't work out. To the point, I believe, for my sins, it will be better to do this. Right. You can go over there a minute. Now we bring you down, because it's your turn. No, I don't need to put these back on the stick. I need to put the stick down. Right. So, we now know that we have fixed this set of bobbins like twice already today. So, let's take you back this way. You are crossed, so that's fine. And you are out, and you are in. Now, we can arguably use some pins that we have on the board. Me throw finished. Now we get to put some of them back in here. How's that 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? This belongs over here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's a bit much, but we can. Right, we have not achieved a lot today, other than constantly redoing stuff that we screwed up time after time. So, time to take a photo. There we go. So, excuse me again. So we are done for the day. Thank you, Rory. I'll take So yes, I shall see you tomorrow afternoon, for those who can make it, where we will see how much more we can manage. Usually we do quite well on a Friday afternoon. Failing that, we often do very well on a Saturday. I will be trying to do a late one again Saturday, so people in other time zones have a bit of a better chance to come say hello. We shall see what we can manage, but obviously I need to eat at some point. So with that in mind, I hope you've had a bit of fun today. It's been good to have you here. We had a bit of fun with the Guess the Word game. We can do a bit more of that some other time. Because it is nice to see you all joining in. It makes me smile, so I like that. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I shall see you tomorrow.